Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to see this, I would like to offer your yearly forecast, kind of looking at the energies that are coming in for the general group of Earth elemental energy. Earth covers the zodiac of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And this is a general reading, just kind of seeing what kind of energy is coming in for the next year, see what kind of things might be popping up. How I like to do these is I go quarter by quarter. We look at a guide that is generally an angel group that we will see what's influencing that quarter. I'm adding in the runes this year to kind of give us a little more in depth on what those quarters mean, and then we'll break it down month by month with a tarot and affirmation reading. So we'll get you some affirmations to work through each month as well. With that, we'll get started, and I like to do my card shuffles while I'm doing the videos so that it's more authentic that way. If you're interested in any of the decks or things that I'm using, you can check those out in the description box down below. And I will also add in, I totally forgot to do this, but I will add in the if you want a zodiac chart and like a natal chart, and it's a really good product, so that should be in the description when this video goes up. So we'll get started with our first quarter. Your first quarter's guide is the angels of asking and receiving, Earth. So the first quarter, which is January, February, March, the angels are coming in to remind you or to encourage you that unless you ask for something of the universe and of yourself, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to be kind of floating along doing whatever pops up. They're saying that this is a good time. This first quarter is going to be a good time for you to bring your focus, bring your attention in, and really speak into existence what it is you're wanting. If you're not willing to say it out loud, there's a less likelihood that you're actually going to get it to process through, is what I'm hearing. So this first quarter is really about stepping into your decision, maybe working with some energy of your divine will. You could be developing that aspect of the spiritual capital W will versus our human lower W will. So this is the energy that I'm getting for the first quarter. So for the first 3 months of the year, it's really about, if you really want something, ask for it, ask God Source Divine for it, and also put your effort and energy towards that using your will. Earth, you're really grounded, you're really foundational. So when you plant yourself and say, this is where I'm headed, you kind of become that immovable rock type energy. So really get yourself ready so you're not just tumbling down the hill. Your rune for the first quarter is the Manaz rune, which is the rune of man. Color of deep red. Tarot association is the magician, and astrology is Jupiter. Humankind, wisdom held in the body, mind and body working together, knowledge, memory, interdependence of the masculine and feminine within. So you really are working with this energy of balance and foundation. And when we talk about the body, if you look at it from the metaphysical standpoint, your bones are the structure, the foundation, the earth elemental energy. So this first quarter is really saying, Earth, this is you. What are you wanting to establish? What are you going to build upon? Set your foundation strong. Ask and focus on what it is that you really want to create in this first quarter, because it's not just going to be, they're saying that this year is not going to let you kind of go with the flow. It's definitely saying make a decision. So let's hop into your tarot. Looking at January 1st, we have the Prince of Winter, intellectual, determined, focused, and impulsive. Seek out intellectual solutions to your problems, the need to act quickly and decisively, sudden or unexpected changes. This first month of 2025 is really saying, make your decisions now. Things are going to be moving pretty quickly, pretty rapidly. So it's not a time where you want to dilly-dally or lollygag or whatever term you like to use, because this is a time of making decisions. The universe is saying, Earth, things move a little bit slower for you in general. Not always, depends on what else is going on there. But for the most part, Earth doesn't like to make decisions quickly. They like to look at things in the broader picture, and that's fine. But what I'm hearing is you already know where you're wanting to go, so make the decision. Don't overthink this. Make the decision. Allow for changes to occur because that's a natural part of life, unfortunately. But it's really about making those decisions, making them firm, and making them stable. And speaking of stable, your affirmation card, it's a gratitude oracle, but the affirmation is number 10, love. Definitely a place you want to have stability. The affirmation is, I love myself and give love to those in my life. I love myself and I give love to those in my life. This first part of the year is about setting the foundation, making those decisions, making them stand, because you want to build a life that you love. You also want to provide a life for those you love. So this is a good time to just make the decision, move forward with it. Don't overthink things. That's the big one that they keep emphasizing here, is don't overthink this first month of the year. It's about set the goals, do the things, make the decisions, move forward. Your second month is February, and it's number 15 in the major arcana. So this is big life lessons. They can go year long if they need to. And it is the ego. The illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material things, getting caught up in fear and worry. In January, you're making decisions, but you're doing it because you're trying to build that foundation, and you're reinforcing the foundation for a love and those that you care about, building growth and expansion. This second month, February, is about learning how to use the capital W will, because that takes the ego out of the equation. The ego of the everyday will, the lowercase will, is I'm doing this because I want to look great and I want to be the best in the best, and I'm doing this because I think it's necessary. There's a lot of I's in there. The capital W will is, this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it so that we can all grow in a better position. I'm doing this to support. I'm doing this to encourage. And it could even go, I am doing this because I want to be the example for the next generation. See what you can accomplish. So you're changing that dynamic from me to let's do this together. I'll be the one that steps out front this time. You can do it next time. But that's what we're looking at in this February energy, is really about being okay with being out front for the moment. But if someone else steps up and they've got more experience or more knowledge, go with that. Heed the advice of others so you can grow together. And it's not just, I'm going to do this the me way. And that can end up being a little bit on the rough side of life sometimes. So February is really about making sure that you are keeping the ego in check, and you're really working with that divine aspect of will, your higher self energy, where it's beneficial for me because it's also going to benefit everyone else. So it's a group project thing. Your affirmation card is number 17, seek. And your affirmation is, I am grateful for my ability to seek out new information. I am grateful for my ability to seek out new information. When you are keeping your ego in check, you're tapping into that divine mind, that divine will. It allows you to seek out the truth, capital T truth, the ultimate truth, because there is such a thing. And anyone who tells you otherwise, you might check how their life really plays out. Because capital T truth, capital W will, these are divine truths. These are not everyday worldly things. So Earth, what I'm getting for you is in February, it's a tap on the shoulder, check your ego. Doesn't always have to be the headline here, but it's also saying seek out those who've been before. Seek out knowledge beyond what you currently know. Like, you know a lot, don't get me wrong, but there's always more to learn, because the more you learn, the more you understand, the more you realize you don't know anything. And that's where this in February is a good time to, you set the foundation in January. In February, now it's time to seek outside. How can I make this a little bit better? How can I bring this into fruition? And that's where tapping into those outside sources can be invaluable. So let's step over into March, wrapping up our first quarter with the Knight of Gabriel. Confident, enthusiastic, courageous, and charismatic. Time to take action, great passion for a cause, instinctively knowing what to do. When you've asked the right questions, when you have sought out the right answers, this is when things really start to move. There's a lot of motion going on in this, but you're also being guarded and protected by Archangel Gabriel. So this is the time when you start to take the steps And you notice that, mysteriously, the next steps don't feel like work. It feels like the obvious next step. There's not like a lot of conscious thought into it. The first part of the quarter, January, February, was very much about making those decisions, being very consciously aware of what it is you're doing, how you're going to play it out, how's this all going to work together, who do I need to talk to gain further knowledge. But come March, I'm being told that this is when you are going to start stepping into your ability to integrate that. So you've set everything up, now it's time to ride that tide. The month of March is not going to be super busy, is what I'm hearing, as far as I have to consciously create or I have to consciously do. You've set things in motion, so the balls just kind of roll through March, which I'm hearing could be a good thing for Earth. They're saying that the first couple of months making those decisions and kind of setting things up could be a little tiring, just because there's a lot going on. You're excited to do it, but doesn't mean it's going to be easy. With that, your affirmation card is number 12 with self-care. I lovingly make self-care a priority as I am grateful for this life, this body, and all aspects of myself. I lovingly make self-care a priority as I am grateful for this life, this very body, and all aspects of myself. So March is going a little bit more with the flow. Tap into some of your water friends out there. And while you're doing that, you're understanding that confidence, that enthusiasm, the growth that you've already set into motion. Because you have to plant the seed to get the harvest, right? And that's what you've done the first 2 months. This third month is, okay, the things are in the ground, water what you can water. If the weeds pop up, pull those weeds out of the way. But it's not as much of an active aspect as what I'm hearing. So Earth, come March, there's a little bit of downtime, a little bit of calm, but it's to recover your energy, recover your connections. And they're saying have a lot of fun with family during the month of March, whether it's a spring break thing, whether it's just a little short family vacation. Find reasons to have fun, laugh a lot, laugh as much as you can, and really tap into joy during the month of March. So our second quarter is, the guides are romance and connection angels. March is kind of giving you the heads up that April, May, and June are going to be a lot of fun. It's also going to be a time of deepening romantic relationships. If you're single, this could also be a time where a romantic interest could blossom. So be open to those new experiences, that new energy coming forward. With your connection aspect, the friends, the family that you already have, they're saying that the second quarter, April, May, June, is really about deepening those connections. Find reasons to do bonfires, maybe even celebrate a Beltane that you've never done before. Really tap into that community aspect. And it could be internet community, but they're wanting to emphasize, for Earth specifically, you guys like the physical. So do the physical stuff, do the bonfires, do the campouts, whatever it is, but do stuff in the physical to connect with your fellow human. That is a really big thing, is what I'm hearing for your element. So your rune that is going to kind of be in charge of the second quarter is the Gibo rune, which is the rune of blessings and generosity, color of deep blue. Tarot association is the Lovers, focusing on that Lovers energy here. And your astrology is Pisces, so this is really going to tap into a completion of a cycle for you. This is a sign of gifts, generosity, giving, people coming together, relationships deepening. So Earth, this second quarter, before we get into the month to months here, is really saying this is a time to bring people together. This is a time, if you are single, be single, but be ready to mingle. If you're in a relationship, this is a time to really tap into that gratitude and appreciation aspect of the relationship. This is a time to look over at your spouse. Do it right now. And smile. Remember what it is that made you love them. Their quirky sense of humor, that eyebrow pop, that when you say something funny or silly, whatever it is, remember why you fell in love with them. That is something that is really being brought forward for the second quarter for Earth. So our April energy is the King of Michael, principled, rational, ambitious, and respected. Wisdom and objectivity are important. Stay in your integrity, a situation that calls for honest and open communication. You can't really have a healthy growth relationship friendship, in romantic relationship, whatever it is, without open communication. You have to have the ability to be honest with each other, and that's where that principled and rational aspect of the King of Michael is coming forward. Michael is the energy of fire, the south, but Michael also has a great deal of authority in the heavenly courts. Michael has these amazing gifts and talents to cut away the we'll be PC here. Cut away the garbage, because there's things in life, there's things in situations and relationships because of outside drama or someone's perception of, well, they said this, they must have meant. That's not what they said, and that's not what they meant. So that color doesn't look good on you doesn't mean you're ugly. That means that color, like chartreuse, doesn't look good really on anybody. So if you bought a chartreuse dress thinking that that's going to help, probably not the best decision. But that's where that truth part comes in, and actually listening from the heart or from the third eye. Not these things. These are great tools to listen to music with. But when you're communicating with others, you're watching, you're observing, but you're listening from the heart, and that's that connection. And that goes into that romance and connection angels that are going to be guiding you through this. And that's where Michael can help cut away some of the things that are blinding you, or things that may be stirring up negative communication. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just saying in April, be very open and upfront with how you feel. Don't be ruthless, don't be mean, but be upfront and honest. There's always ways to say it nice, even if it's a brutal truth. So your affirmation is number 21, imagination. Let me find the book here. So definitely work with Archangel Michael in April to cut away the things that aren't serving and allow you to see the truth and reality of how amazing life really is. The illusion is the dark, to be brutally honest with you. The joy and the happiness is the reality. We are meant to be here to be happy and growth, but we have to have sometimes those trials, that darkness, to help us understand what it is we're actually aiming for. So with your imagination, I gratefully use my imagination to visualize and manifest my dreams. I gratefully use my imagination to visualize and manifest all of my dreams. When you work with Archangel Michael to cut away the negative, to cut away the garbage, you're doing that because you want to expand your creation. You want to take what you started developing in January and February, and how can you make it even better? It's not saying you set the foundation in January and February, okay? A house foundation is great. What happens when you don't put the walls up? It falls apart. So what you're doing in April is you're starting to build on that foundation. You're starting to, how would this kind of life look? Using that imagination, but being honest with yourself, being honest with those around you, cutting away the illusion of lack, that illusion of, well, I'm just not as good as fill in the blank down the road. And if you knew what went on behind fill in the blank down the road's doors, you probably wouldn't want to be in their life anyway. They probably envy you for the same reason. So be open and honest with yourself. Don't compare yourself to others, and allow your imagination to really direct where you're headed in that month of April. The energy is all about creation and dissolving the negative. Your May energy, Beltane energy, is the Queen of Ariel, mature, practical, generous, and happy. Nurture yourself and those you love, the ability to make anything more beautiful, practical, and wise advice. With this one, we're really looking at Ariel is the female counterpart to Uriel. So you're still working with earth energy, the energy of the north and the house and the home. So what it's saying is what you did in April is leading into May, where May is going to be where you can take those new ideas, that new imagining, and how can you start to apply that to life? How can you bring it from the thought process into the physical world? The energy of the North Earth is all about taking a concept or a thought and making it physical. So the second part of the quarter, this month of May, this is where you're nurturing yourself. You're taking self-care. This is a big theme, is what I'm getting for Earth. You're always the one who wants to take care of other people. Don't forget self-care. If this is broken, your physical form is broken up and drained and exhausted and worn out, it's going to make it really hard to take care of those who are around. So make sure you're doing your own self-care as well, because you're making things beautiful, you're making things grow, you're making things expand. Earth, you are the soil in which the dreams can grow. If you are not taking care of yourself and letting the weeds grow or not watering it properly, it's just going to get dry and crusty, and no one wants dry and crusty. So definitely take care of yourself in May. And they're actually saying this is going to be something that is so natural, and you're going to do it with others, specifically a romantic partner, that it's going to be, oh, I'm taking care of you, but you're taking care of me, so we're taking care of each other type energy. It's that kind of almost like a trope. They keep showing me this image in my head, and I'm like, I'm not saying that. But it's back and forth. You're really taking care of the things that are important, but you're not leaving yourself and your physical body out, and that could work into physical exercise or diet or something. Be open to what's coming in May is what I'm hearing. Your affirmation is number 14 with the expression group. Let me get the page here. Sorry. It's all done with all here. Oh, that's not right. That's 15. I say 14. The expression, and this ties into that Queen of Ariel. I express my gratitude freely and frequently. I express my gratitude freely and frequently. You're doing self-care. You're working on the things that are important. You're expanding on the creation. By doing so, you're allowed to express yourself. And you're doing so with so much gratitude and so free that you have no regrets. This is where you're headed. This is what you're doing. You're doing it with a smile on your face. Might be a little bit of, sweat that has to happen. Sweat equity is just part of life. But you're enjoying the journey as well as what the destination will be. And that's the important part that's coming forward in May, is taking care of yourself, taking care of others, and using your earth natural energy to manifest, to take those thoughts and imaginations that you did in April and bring them into the physical. Time is fluid, so are these readings, so this might fluctuate for you a little bit, but it's really saying this is a good time. This middle of the second quarter is a good time to watch how the universe conspires in your favor to bring these things in. Your month of June, which is the end of the second quarter, is the Queen of Spring. Brilliant, loyal, talented, and friendly. Believe in yourself. Wonderful people want to help you maintain a balance between work and home life. Just because you're creating the life of your dreams does not mean you have to stop dreaming. And it also says you're working because you want to pay for your life. You want to support what you're doing. You're not existing to work. That's not living. That's not life. That's misery. You are literally here, and the Queen of Spring wants you to remember this. In June, take a week off if you feel led to. Don't forget why you're doing that job. It's because of the people that you care about. It's the people that you love. You're building this dream. You're all the things that you've set your foundations for. Reconnect with the why. You have the how. Like, the how is easy. You're doing this because you want to make a better life. But it's the who that's important. You're doing it because you love these people that much. You care about them, whether you are the breadwinner or the homemaker. Whatever it is that your position is in the household, the reason that you're doing the things that you are doing is because you want to be supportive of those you're around. And in June, the Queen of Spring is saying, do the work, do the hard work. That's what you're doing. You're setting yourself up for success. You have to put the work in. But don't forget why you're doing the work. Look into your partner's eyes and go on a date night. Do a couple's camping trip. Do things as a family. Institute a family game night starting in June. Whether it's, lawn darts, okay, that might date me just a little bit, or croquet or something like that, where it's just the family. You're not involving other people. It's just that small group where you're connecting, you're laughing, you're joking. Really connect with the people in the month of June, because that's the why. That's the who. The how is the work. That's out there. But this is what you're doing it for, is this important connection with your family. So your this is kind of funny because I did shuffle this deck really well and I've cut it several times, and it's giving me almost in sequence here. We have number 11 with intention is your affirmation. I am grateful for my awareness of my heart's desires, and I set intentions with those desires in mind. I am grateful for my awareness of my heart's desires, and I set intentions with those desires in mind. When you work with the Queen of Spring, she's saying don't forget the why and the who. Your intention is you're doing the things because of the why and the who. The how is only the process. The important part is the how, or the why and the who. So don't forget that by the end of the second quarter. This is a good time to remind yourself, I'm setting myself up. I'm doing all these things. And my reason is I want to make a better life for all of us. I want to set things up so that we can have a little bit better of a life than the way we were raised. We are doing the things to encourage those who are coming up, whether it's your children or those who are around you watching, that they can do this too, and they can build and grow. And by building in a positive, conscious way, you actually uplift all of those who are around you. And that is such an important thing, Earth, and this is something that you're good at. You are great at setting a foundation and being a good example to others. So, definitely the time to check in with all that. Let's hop over to our third quarter angels. We have the angels of healing. They're saying that this is a good time to check in with Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, as well as any other healing guides or guardians that you have. This third quarter is you've been doing a lot of work, and in the third quarter they're saying now you've set yourself up, you can take a little bit of a breather, check in on your physical health, your mental health. Also check in with your spouse, your partner, whatever you've got going on there, and make sure everything's staying healthy. Also check in on your creation. Is it still in a good spot? Is it still healthy? Are you still focusing on the right things? Did you let something slip and you're like, oops, maybe that's not the best option? When we talk about health and healing, it's not just one aspect of health and healing. It's really about expanding on the parts that need to be adjusting to a better frequency. And it could be, they keep showing me images. It's kind of fun. They're saying that this is also a time where you could offer some healing to Gaia herself. How can you work to a frequency where you're doing some benefits for the planet? You've been working for benefiting yourself, working for benefiting your circles, which is super important. But is there another aspect that you can integrate? They're saying it could be a recycling program. It could be starting to compost. Something as minor as that can have really, really big results in your world. And that's one thing that they're wanting to say is this third quarter, look at ways that where you're healing your own bubble, but you're also healing your environment as well. So your rune is the Anzus rune, which is the ancestral god Odin. The color of dark blue. Tarot association is death. That's not a negative. Astrology is Mercury. Wisdom and help from someone older. Magic, psychic powers, initiation. The other part with this rune that I'm getting, and what ties into this healing, is what do you need to let go? When the death card shows up, it's not saying it's a literal physical death. It's possible, don't get me wrong, that does have a meaning there. But it's also saying, what is it you're ready to let go of? What are you ready to end? Is it a bad habit that you need to work with your healing angels to be like, get this thing away from me? Drinking, smoking, whatever. It could be a mindset, I'm just not good enough. Okay, time to cut that out and send it away. Really work with the healing energies of these angels to improve, again, yourself, your bubble, and your environment, but also take the time to really check in with yourself. Is there something that I just need to let go of? Is there something that is sitting at the forefront of your mind? And when you look at these situations, the first thing that comes to mind is generally the one that you're being led towards. It's not a matter of, well, I could do that, but there is that. The first one that comes to mind is usually the thing that you're the most ready to let go of, and that's the one to work with at that time to find the source of it, root it out, and then have your healing angels remove that. God, Source Divine, loves to help us heal, and that is a really powerful way to connect is to work with that energy to let go. So let's check in with our month of July. And we have the 6 of summer, children or childhood, the return of people or romances from your past, remembering events differently in a better or worse light than how they really occurred. When you look back and you're reviewing life and you're looking at it through maybe, man, I was dumb at that time, or I should have done this differently because that's just not how I wanted that to turn out. Work with your healing angels and be like, what did I learn from that? How did I grow from that? That experience changed something in me and allowed me to grow, to become more aware, or maybe even step up in life and appear differently. So July, even though this third quarter is about healing and kind of fixing stuff, July is saying it doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be about, I'm starting to champion down the street a recycling program. It can be as simple as, what did I do? Why did that situation, why does that stick in my head so much? It's been 15 years. And why is that one thing that I said to that one person still eating at me? Why did I do that? I ended up getting fired from it. But why did that happen? What was it that I was being taught or shown at that time? Your healing angels are there to help you uncover some of that stuff. And in this month of July, it's really about fixing those past situations and improving, but also showing to yourself that you grew beyond it. You were able to use that situation as a stepping stone, and that allowed you to expand, that allowed you to grow, that allowed you to become the person you are today. Because if you wouldn't have had that, you wouldn't be where you're at right now. Good, bad, or indifferent. But where you're at right now is where you're supposed to be for this aspect of your soul's journey. So really tap into understanding the why. And then you may only get, if you wouldn't have done that, you wouldn't have had this situation fall apart, and that wouldn't have opened this other door over here. That may be the only answer you get, but it will at least explain that's why that all fell apart. And it could be a simple thing of, did you learn to keep your mouth shut when you didn't need to? I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that can come up with that. But in July, it's really about looking back at situations and being honest with yourself. They're saying that this is a huge aspect of Earth's energy for this year. You're honest anyway, but don't fool yourself. You're honest with other people. Why not be honest with yourself too? Your affirmation for this month of July is number 16, the relationship card. I love this. Is one of my favorite cards in this deck. It's, my relationships are honest and supportive of my needs. My relationships are honest and supportive of my needs. Say that out loud. My relationships are honest and supportive of my needs. Your relationships can help you in ways that you may not even understand when you're dealing with healing. Because you can hide your stuff from some people. You're not going to hide it from your significant other. They're going to know something's up. When that's going on, talk to them. They're there to support you. You're there to support them. That relationship bond is super, super powerful. And when you open yourself up, you're allowing that person a different level of intimacy. It's a very personal situation. And that's the energy that's coming up for this month of July, is working on sorting the past, letting it go, figuring out why things happened. Doesn't mean you're going to get all the details, but you'll get the lesson out of it. And that allows you to offer yourself forgiveness. It allows you to offer forgiveness back so that you can seek forgiveness and apologize for things. Even if it's in meditation, their soul will recognize that. And apologizing to yourself is probably one of the most difficult things you can possibly do. From experience, that is difficult. And it's rewarding though, when you truly are able to say, yes, I messed up. I forgive myself and I let that energy of negativity go. I will never forget the lesson because that's important, but I am not going to carry that burden of guilt any longer. That changes so much when you can do that. Don't be afraid to cry because it happens. Happens a lot when you're going through healing processes. And that's the energy that July is bringing forward. So let's hop over to August and see if it's a little bit lighter energy. Your tarot is number 1, major arcana, big life lessons here. It's the Magician with Archangel Raziel. Nope, I thought we had the Magician already. You can manifest the life you want. What you need will magically appear. Successful beginnings. The Magician is the first numbered card. The very first card in the deck is 0. That's not classified as a number. This one's the number. The Magician has all the tools that they need. When you go through the month of July and you kind of work through some of that stuff, what it's doing is it's opening you up to a greater level of success. You're able to step into this energy of creation. You're able to step into this energy of, okay, I've set these things up. I am working towards a goal. In August, you're going to start to see the tools that you really have. You might not really fully be aware of them when you watch this video, whenever that is. But by halfway through the third quarter, you're going to start to see, oh, that's what that was all about. You're going to understand some of the lessons that you have been processing. It's given you coping skills. It's given you organization skills. It's given you the ability to hear from your heart, your mind, your third eye, seeing how a person responds to things. These are all different tools that are kind of forgotten or kind of given up on. But in August, Earth, you're going to see exactly how many tools you really have and how, that's a weird phrase, how stinking valuable they really are. That's what they're saying, so we'll go with that. Your affirmation is number 6, presence. I appreciate the gift of presence. I appreciate the gift of presence. When we tie this energy into the energy of the Magician, one of the best tools, one of the best gifts you could ever have is the ability to be present in the moment. That gift, that talent, that skill, tool, whatever you want to call it, is so forgotten and so ignored by so many people. When you're present, you're living in the now moment. That allows you to be completely open to communication from another person. It also, blessingly, allows you to communicate with another person in a very honest and real way. And your risk of offending at that point goes so far down because you're being so open with your information. That's the energy of August, is you're being present. You understand why some of the stuff happened. You understand this is the goal and where I'm headed, and these are the steps. But you're also starting to see how you fit into your bubble. It's not just like you're here and they're circling you. It's you're all working together, and that's one of those things where when you're present, you realize how connected everything is and how you're all actually working towards the same goal. You just might be the one kind of directing traffic right now. So let's look at September. Yeah. We have the page of Gabriel. Energetic, brave, optimistic, and playful. Follow your passions. You are ready for challenges, opportunities for excitement and adventure. September sounds like it's going to start to pick up a little bit again, which is great because who wants to be boring all the time? But you've processed some things out, and that's actually lightened your burden. You're not carrying, notice he's not carrying anything. His staff is lit up though. So that's where you're at. You now have the tools, and you're aware of them. They've been lit up so that you can actually process and move forward. They're saying that this is a good time to really put your nose to the grindstone with what projects you're working on, whatever that is, and really focus on bringing smiles to people's faces. They're really wanting to emphasize that for Earth for some reason. Having fun this year, this 2025 year, doesn't really matter what else is going on. This is about you, your connection to God, Source Divine, and your connection to those around you. Find reasons to smile. Find reasons to be happy. This month of September, you're into Mabon. It's the autumn equinox. It's a balancing point of the year. It's a good time to look at how the year's been so far. A little bit of check in there. But you're also moving into the energy where the veils are thinning. So making sure that you're setting yourself up for the winter. You're prepared. You've got your food stores. Sorry, I'm going back to the old days here. Your food stores are put up. If you're a hunter, that's what you're working towards that. You're getting yourself ready for that period of quiet and solitude that tends to be what winter is. A little less so nowadays, but that was what it was back in the day. It was a time of quietude. Didn't mean you were alone all the time. it meant you were in a more quiet state, and that's the energy they're wanting you to get ready for. Put your nose to the grindstone, do the things, but be okay with a little quiet time too. And we have number 13, intermingle is your affirmation. Oops, one page too far. And with intermingle, we have, I am grateful to be working with others to help them achieve their goals and create my gratitude network. I am grateful to be working with others to help them achieve their goals and create my gratitude network. As you grow, as you expand, your light is starting to shine, and that's allowing you to work so much more peacefully and positively with those around you. This is allowing you to step into that light, that passion. And when you are working in a form of integration and you're trying to live the life of as an example to others of what joy means, you're building that gratitude. You're always so happy and grateful for the stuff that you have, and everyone who works with you is starting to feel that way with their things. So they're tapping into their joy. They're tapping into their gratitude. They're thankful to God Source Divine. They're thankful to all of the people around them, because this is what it means for growth and beauty. And this is what they're wanting to bring forward for you, wrapping up the third quarter of 2025. Your fourth quarter of 2025 is starting off with a bang. The angels of expecting miracles. This last quarter for Earth, the angels of expecting miracles are saying you've done the work, you've done the inner work, you have set yourself up for amazing success going forward. Now is time to reap some of those rewards. Watch how the universe has been working with you, conspiring with you to create such a beautiful outcome. They're really wanting you to know that it doesn't really matter what happens from here on out. You have set yourself up amazingly. And when you are doing affirmations, when you are saying the things, you're setting the vision boards, you're doing, the next steps, stay in the state of, I expect miracles every day. Because the miraculous, the magical, occurs when we believe in it. If you don't believe in it, shut off the video right now. You're not going to enjoy the rest of it. But when you put your effort into understanding that miracles and manifestations and magic, that's real. It doesn't really care what anyone else says. But it all comes down to a perception check. And that's where you're at right now, is remember to expect the good. And remember to expect the miraculous. Because that's what you'll get when you expect it. Your rune, little rain cloud here, is the Hagalaz rune, which is the rune of hail. Color of light blue. Tarot association is the world. Astrology is Aquarius. Unexpected setbacks or problems, attempting to let things flow, disruptive natural events. They're saying that this is more of a tap on the shoulder, heads up, don't get distracted rune. You're working towards very specific goals, dreams, and ambitions. You know them, I don't. But don't get distracted by the new shiny thing. You've been putting your effort, your energy, you've built this foundation. Don't walk away from the foundation because someone has a tent put up somewhere. That's not what you're doing. The Hagalaz rune in this aspect is saying don't allow things that are outside to negatively influence what it is that you're building, what it is you're focused on. Keep your guides close, work with God Source Divine, and really expect the miraculous. The Hagalaz rune in this aspect is really just saying this is what can happen if you're not paying attention. Live in that energy of presence. Live in the presence of the divine. Focus on that divine aspect, the capital W will, the capital T truth. Those are the things that are going to lead you to success, but expect the miraculous. So, your October energy is the 2 of Ariel. It is important to have balance, work multiple jobs or projects at once, making work fun. October is about how many things can you get done. Asking a question here, Earth. How many things do you think you can get done in the month of October? Finding balance between work and home life, let's just say that's one of the most tricky things you'll ever do. And the last few weeks, if you work in retail, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But when you find that balance, in October they're saying this is when you're going to really start to notice that balance. the balance between work and home, where you can be at home with the family, you can rest and you can recover. It's amazing how much more you can get done when you are happy in the home. Earth, your energy is about the physical world, the hearth, the home, the physical, all that fun stuff. So when you're able to really put the effort into recovering, spending the time with the loved ones, that's going to recharge you in ways that sleeping for 14 hours never could. And that's what they're saying with this Two of Ariel, is this is the time to recover, but recover in a way that doesn't degrade what you're doing. You're still building, you're still doing strong, because it says right on the card, and the energy I'm getting from it is the same. You're working multiple aspects of things at this point. You're still in that process of creation. You're still in that process of movement. And it's saying you can do all of that as long as you're still connected to your family, to your inner circle, the things and people who are important to you. When you're connected there, the outside world becomes more of a, gotta go do that, but I get to come home to this. So that's where they're wanting you to focus on. Your affirmation is number 43, the repose card. I willingly prioritize my need for quality sleep. I am grateful for the opportunity to be more rested and refreshed. I willingly prioritize my need for quality sleep. I am grateful for the opportunity to be more rested and refreshed. It's not just talking about sleep. Rested and refreshed is also going with the energy of the Two of Ariel. Are you creating the life at home, outside of the job, where it is refreshing to be there? It is an enlivening experience to be around the inner circle, to be around your friends, your family. Work is work. It's always going to be there in some way, shape, or form. You're always going to have that. But are you setting aside time when you're away from that, where you can live the life of your dreams? Are you expecting the miraculous? Are you expecting that joy, that abundant feeling of happiness that swells the heart and almost brings a tear to your eye at times, because you're so ecstatic with the life that you have built? It doesn't mean you're going to be jumping up in rainbows and butterflies and unicorn farts every day, but you're wanting to be with those people. That is your heart. That is your home. Earth, that's where your foundation lies. The month of November is bringing in the Nine of Autumn. Reward yourself for all your hard work, being happily and successfully self-employed, cherishing your time alone. November is when the world quiets. Samhain has passed. It is now the time of putting, in the north anyway, putting everything to bed. You're not gardening, usually not out hunting unless you have some special permit. You're at home more. It's cold. It's not quite snowy enough to go out and go skiing. This is a period of rest and recuperation. The Nine of Autumn is really about tapping into that, rewarding yourself. You've done all the hard work. Take a break. Doesn't mean give up. Doesn't mean stop. It means take a break. This year so far, when I look at this chaotic cards I got going on here, it's all about work, balance, home to work, your goals and your dreams versus being lazy and slothful. But you're doing the right things because you're taking the time to recover. You're taking the time to do the inner work. You're still building on your dreams. They're really wanting to say, Earth, you have this foundation of, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going. And what I'm getting this year, you're actually going to step onto a different plateau, a new level to base off of by the end of this year. So you are really setting yourself up future-wise for a successful time. But it's going to take the effort to get up there, but you're not just bringing yourself. What I'm hearing before we even get to the last of this year is this year you elevate you, your partner, your family, your inner circle, but your example is going to help elevate others. This year is a really powerful year for change and growth. You've done a lot. There's always more to do. Don't ever think that you're done. But it's saying this year you're going to notice such a drastic shift that you're like, wow, look at the miraculous things that have happened. Look at how God Source Divine has worked with me, worked with us. Look at where we're at. I never thought when I started in January that I'd make it this far or get to this point. That's the energy that they're wanting to bring forward for the month of November, because it's not just a simple, oh, I made it through another year. This year's a little different for you, Earth. You're evolving. Number 31 is the evolve card. Your affirmation is, I continue to learn, evolve, and expand my gratitude practices. I continue to learn, evolve, and expand my gratitude practices. Your growth is not static. You're moving. You're growing. You're growing in a way that is healthy for you. You're rewarding yourself as you go along. Each milestone, each barrier, each obstacle you've overcome, you're appreciating as far as you've got. You're appreciating the lesson that you learned. But you're moving into that state where you're always in a state of growth, but you're doing so with such joy that you're looking forward to the next growth period, which is pretty cool. Your final month of the year, wrapping up the whole year, last quarter, all that stuff, is the Two of Winter. Indecision holding you back, making choices that are the best for you. Don't try to please others, feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. This is that energy of the Hagalaz rune that's coming forward. In December, there may be people that you thought were close, and they might be just saying this because they're kind of a little grumpy about something. It gets into that December Christmas energy. It's chaos. But what I'm hearing with this one is there's this conflict that you're feeling. Do I keep pushing forward with this to complete this goal, or is it the time to start a new one? What they're bringing forward is finish the thing that you started. You have a foundation built, you got the walls, put the roof on this thing and let's paint it. That's what they're saying. That doesn't mean that you can't start breaking ground on something else. Just don't forget to finish the one you're working on. And I'm using a construction metaphor because that's what they keep showing me. So, but this month of December, there might be some questions that come up. Am I doing the right thing? Is this really the best path forward? Am I, doing this with my family and it's going to end up, not being great for them? Talk to them. Expect miracles. Expect it. Don't hope for it. Don't wish for it. Expect it. Be open with your concerns. Any worries that you're feeling? This year of 2025 is about your growth in that aspect of becoming more truthful and honest with yourself. When you do it with yourself, you actually get to a point where you're more open and honest with those around you. In December, if you're feeling that waffling energy where you're not quite sure, there's a little bit of indecision, you might have that one person off in the corner nagging about something, not your spouse, that outside circle, not your inner circle. Listen to what they're saying for a second. Be like, okay, then talk to those closest to you and be like, I'm having this concern, this fear, this worry. Is it justified? Is there something that we need to work on? Is there something I need to work on? Be open to all of that, because it's not just so simple as, well, this is the right path and this is the wrong path. Your path is going to be completely different than mine, and it's going to be completely different from Fred down the street to the Joneses across the way. Your path is your path. You need to figure that out. But don't let someone else derail you when you have such big goals and ambitions. And they're saying that this is going to be a transformative year for our Earth family. So allow the transformation to happen. Allow the miracles to happen. Don't get too bogged down in what other people think, in December especially. Your affirmation is number 41, energy. As I maintain a higher energy frequency, I can freely express love and gratitude. I told you. As I maintain a higher frequency, I freely express love and gratitude. As I maintain a higher energetic frequency, I can freely express love and gratitude. The Two of Winter is just like the Hagalaz rune. It's saying, don't get too caught up in outside opinions. There may be things you don't see that pop up. Fine, deal with it as it comes up. But don't let that bog you down. Your affirmation is your shifting frequencies, your new plateau area, your new foundation you've built up. You're on the next story now. And you have completed so much, and this year is big growth, but it's also about you knowing yourself better. It doesn't matter how old you are, 15 to 55. This year, 2025 for Earth, is really about self-discovery. Figure out how absolutely amazing you are, how amazingly miraculous what God Source Divine has done with you and for you, and allow that growth to expand and expand and expand. 2025 for Earth is starting off with a bang. and ending with a bigger one. There's a little bit of, kerfuffle in the middle here. Take the time to really get to know yourself. Really take your relationships to a deeper level. Allow it to happen fluidly. Don't force anything. That's never going to help. But allow it to grow that way. That requires being more open and more communicative. To do that, you have to do the inner work, but that's going to be so rewarding for you, Earth, in this upcoming year. With that, we will let you guys go. Do all the YouTube-y things or the, online things. Subscribe, like, comment. Comment what your hopes and goals are for the next year. Be generic. You don't have to be specific. But work on the foundations. Get a journal. Start writing them down so that you can really get solid on what it is you're wanting to create. And the one thing that I'll take away from all of this, the one thing I want you to focus on, expect the miraculous.